Zillow, who's kind of talking about, okay, you got the best team in Connecticut, you got the best mortgage guy, you got the best tank guy. Now who's got the best amount of traffic, the biggest amount of traffic? That's Zillow. Okay, so we're just sticking in here with all the big numbers. Zillow is obviously the most trafficked portal for housing. With one team, our team is a premier partner, the premier partner in Connecticut with Zillow. So we actually get connected with Zillow buyers right here in Connecticut. Byron has worked with a bunch of our clients, obviously, and Zillow entrusts the one team as their premier partner here in the state of Connecticut. They've got a ton of data based on the traffic they have on their site. And they came out with a report here this week. The U.S. housing market value hits $55.1 trillion. The Northeast is still gaining while Florida and California is kind of pulling back. This is a record number. It's up $20 trillion, 57% since early 2020. Okay, so a new fresh $20 trillion since 2020. That's what happens when you print, over 50% of the US dollars in circulation since 2020. What do you know? Real estate prices go up 57%. Over the past year, housing wealth grew by $862 billion. That's 1.6% nationally. New York had a $216 billion pop, Jersey $101 billion, and Connecticut came in at $43 billion. So pretty good number. Massachusetts was at 46, and we were right there with Mass, kind of neck and neck. That's a good number for Connecticut. And geographically, I know CT Insider had some position their thoughts behind their paywall on this report in terms of Connecticut's metro areas, Brian.
Yeah, it was interesting. So, I mean, you could look at the state numbers. You can also look at the metro areas. But this report was showing that Bridgeport, Hartford, and New Haven were in some of the top metro areas, which pretty much means the county because they include all the towns surrounding the cities.
Yeah, the way they do a metro, like when they say Bridgeport Metro, they're talking about the big towns in Fairfield County as well. But they just try to find the big city. Connecticut doesn't have any of them, so they slap Bridgeport's name on it.
Exactly. And so even though Massachusetts overall as a state had a pretty strong growth, they did show negative numbers in Springfield, Worcester, and Boston compared to positive growth. So we're some of our counties or cities or metro areas are in the black. Some of the cities, counties, and metro areas in Massachusetts are in the red. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe a lot of these folks from Massachusetts are moving to Connecticut. I know I've done more than one mortgage for people moving from Massachusetts to moving from Boston to Hartford, New Haven.
Actually happens a lot.
It does.
Yeah. So Connecticut gains $43 billion. These three metros are in the top tier across the country. Consider it how we talk about it here locally into counties: Fairfield, Hartford, New Haven. New Haven County, you can add some of those shoreline towns to that, and Fairfield, obviously, and then Hartford County. So, Connecticut is outpacing the majority of the country. I mean, if I look at all the housing markets that some of these metros that Zillow has outlined, I mean, we are at the top, outside of New York City or something like that, but we are at the top here across the country. And it's based off of the low levels of inventory that we talk about all the time. Connecticut only brings 2,000 for sale units online per year. We don't build. We do have pressure of now, a lot of millennial age buyers want to be here in Connecticut versus what you can get dollar for dollar in Mass or in New York. We actually are the more affordable option when you go pound for pound, dollar for dollar between those two states. Okay. Still have access to obviously both of them. So, there's just enough demand, I would say, pushing Connecticut's numbers higher and higher. And, until you decide to bring in more new inventory and kind of make that give builders an opening to do that, you're going to continue to see these prices move north. And it's no surprise. New York City was 260 billion. And I'll just give you some of these big cities. Like San Francisco is negative 52 billion. So our entire state's gain is what San Francisco lost in a year, and plus 10 million. DC was actually up 24 billion. Chicago up 62 billion. Outside of some of those top ones that I just mentioned there, I mean, Bridgeport at 22 billion. I get it. It's you got the Fairfield, but we're right there with the top gainers. The Bridgeport Metro did Baltimore, which is in the top 10, had 15 billion. The Bridgeport Metro is higher than Baltimore. Tampa lost 20 billion. Austin, Texas lost 19 billion. Atlanta, Georgia lost 12 billion. Houston lost almost just under 10 billion. Denver lost just under 10 billion. San Diego lost 22 billion. Miami lost 25 billion. So, a lot of swings in the negatives. We're going the other direction. Some of the headlines that you see nationally of what's going on with Sunbelt states in particular is not what's going on in this housing market. We still have a lot, a constricted inventory situation, and we still have prices going up at a much higher rate than the rest of the country would suggest.
And I think we'll see some benefits kind of ripple through the local economy when you picture a homeowner that's maybe thinking about putting on a deck or getting a new roof or getting new windows or remodeling their kitchen. The psychology of that person when you're like, well, do I really want to spend the money on this purchase? And then they just look at the value of their house and it's going up, year after year for the last, 5 years significantly. People feel like they have a little more wealth when their value of the home goes up. And they say, well, maybe I will take out a loan against my house or a home equity line and make that purchase. I think and that benefits a lot of tradespeople and a lot of industries locally.
Connecticut has a total market value. So we gained the 43 billion. Total market value is 708 billion. Just to put that in perspective, I said Massachusetts gained 46 billion, so we're close to them. They're already at 1.8 trillion. New York is at just under 4.3 trillion there. So total value, smaller state, less population, total value, but we had a significant gain. People are seeing the prices in Connecticut, looking at the neighbors and saying, oh, there's actually value there. And that's why you see prices continuing to go up.